Sure.
There's ponds out there where they used to trap minnows. And Johnny Novak, 1939-40, when the fire went through in Sunday Bay, in that old Harbor Bay,
Was
yeah, that whole area. Trotnick, can he ever guide for you guys?
not Trodnick. I think he guided for Bill Zook.
Did you ever trade guides? Did they ever move
No,
around?
no, that I don't know. They didn't trade between Bill Zook's and our place. In fact, I always think that there was an unwritten rule that the Billy Zook's guide stayed out to the west and did the western part of the lake, and maybe went to Argo and Bottle Lake, and those where our guides stayed here and went east, went maybe to Gardner Bay and Thursday Bay, and I don't know if there was or not, but I always, because I never remember Zook's guides coming to the camp. Yeah. They came there to visit. They came with people maybe wanted to see the other, but never. No.
Do you remember Gun Lake portages?
Oh,
The
sure.
trucks, the jeeps?
The Jeeps, well, sure.
Wagoosh, Nicky, Papoose?
Papoose, Chippewa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just there the other day. There's 3 swans in the river.
Oh, really?
Big trumpeter swans.
Really?
Really cool.
Wow.
Really
Wow.
cool. It's quite loud when they take off.
Yeah, I bet.
Did your dad help build that road? You know?
Not, I don't think the gun from
Gun Lake to Friday Bay?
Gun Lake, it's probably where he started, and then he built it. But remember, there's a lot of logging happened up there, so they had old logging roads up there. Yeah. So it was, yeah. But that's how
How far were you from Zook's resort?
8 miles.
Oh, okay. So you didn't see the kids there that much then? Because they had a whole slew of kids.
Well, they had a little, it was fun for me to go over there once in a while and see some of the kids.
Sure.
Yeah, Andrea and Pat and Bill especially. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Where'd you go to school?
Well, see, I was up there only in the summertime.
Oh, this is summer,
So
okay.
then I came back into town for school, like the day before school started, and got back into town, yes.
What about September, Helen, when you were gone? Who took care of all that stuff that you were doing?
Well, I don't know how they
That's
managed it.
The fishing
I don't
camp
know.
is still open, I assume, in September.
Oh, yeah, my dad stayed open till about maybe the middle of October,
Wow.
yeah.
How many cabins did you guys rent?
There were 14 altogether. My dad started off with 8 when he started, and then he added to it.
Did he do like Billy, build with the logs on the property?
He did.
Build the sawmill, build the cabins with the
He
trees?
did some of it, but some of it he brought lumber in.
Did they come up Spring Creek Draw also?
Yeah, there was, yes. That's how they got their all their big supplies in the wintertime. They made a winter road coming going up the Echo Trail off the Spring Creek Draw. And between him and Bill, they got together and then went up there with their, lumber, gasoline. I just saw information, I was looking at a video that I had, and like 3,000 gallons of gasoline they brought up every winter, or fuel oil for things. So they came up Spring Creek Draw, and yes.
What did your dad charge? Was it like one fee for everything, for the fly-in, for fishing, for?
What did he charge? The way I can remember it, as far as the airplane, that was Mr. West down here at Chagua. That was his.
So that's a separate charge?
That was separate. But yes, he charged per day. And I know, I can't remember how much, but for some reason, I remember the guides were paid $14 a day. That was, I can know why that sticks in my mind, but $14 a day. So, and they worked. So,
Helen, have you been back to the site recently?
Yes, I have. In 1998, my daughter and I and another couple, we paddled up there. We went to the Chainsaw Sisters, and we went up into Moose River and into Basswood, and paddled and stayed on Friday Bay. I don't know how many people are familiar with it, but up there, we have what they call the car narrows. I'm sure you know what a word is. There is an old 1928 Buick must have gone at one time through the ice, you know, way back when, and it is still there. I couldn't believe it when I went up there. I mean, that used to be my favorite fishing spot, was the Carneros, because that's where I fished. And that Buick is still there. It's kind of, somebody must have at least dragged a little bit further into the woods, but it's still there.
There were two guys in it, it was winter and a snowstorm, and they went through, they got out.
I've
They
been
were
told
saved,
that, yeah,
but
they were
They
saved.
pulled the vehicle up on the Canadian side.
It's on the Canadian side, yes it is, yes.
Where on Friday Bay was your resort, north or south?
The Friday Bay, the resort was kind of in the, when you first go into Friday Bay, it's kind of the top part of the bay. Yeah, because
On
then
the
it goes
east
way
side.
back down, because we had a,
East side. Is there a campsite there now?
not right where the resort was, but there was on the island. There is on an island.
There is?
There is, because when I went back up there, yeah.
I'm just curious how you felt when you went back in 1998. So,
I was excited, and a lot of memories flew back. I was amazed, when I got to the area, the shoreline, I mean, if you look at up here, the shoreline looked the same. I could remember those same rocks that I used to walk along the shoreline with the same rocks there. I rummaged around and I did find the foundation of the big fireplace that I said, I found the foundation of that. So that was really exciting. I found some old pop bottles, remember Lumpy's used to have a local pop shop in town. I found a couple bottles that had been there, but other than that, it was pretty well. I remember the resort having just red pines, just huge red pines, and all over. And then the pines were still there, but it had grown in. There were a lot of aspen and everything had grown in already. So, yeah,
but the pines were still there?
the pines were still there.
You guys had a sand beach too?
We had a Perco's sand beach, yes, and a sauna.
Yeah.
We had a sauna.
That's how you can find it if you want to look for it. Look for the sand.
It's still there, yeah, because when I was up in 98, we went down and used the sand beach. Going back up there though, I was amazed how once I got to, on Crooked Lake, I could find my way. I did not need a map. I mean, I just knew where I was. It just like it was ingrained in you that you knew what islands to go around and how to get through the big currents. And have anybody you ever been up to Crooked Lake at all? Okay, you know where the Table Rock is, and we went. It was just knew where you were. I had no problem finding my way to Friday Bay. Yeah, I thought that was pretty after all those years. But and then I did go back. When did we go back? We went through electrical. We went to Mark Zupp's, and then he took us over to Iron or to Bottle and Iron, and we got as far as Curtin Falls, but we didn't have time enough to paddle from Curtin Falls to Friday Bay. We have a 16-year-old grandson, and I wanted him to see where his grandmother grew up, because he's from the cities. He's from the Twin Cities, and he's got the internet, all the games and everything. So I had to make sure that he got to see once, anyhow, where his grandmother, she spent her childhood.
So, Helen, I have a stupid question. It was all, so the resort was all dismantled then?
Yes.
These resorts were all dismantled and
Yes,
taken
yes.
away?
As far as I know, because I think they were burned.
Was that what they?
They burned it. Yeah. That's the way I've been, yeah. Because
Because they couldn't take all that out?
Well, we were allowed to, like I say, we had till 1952 before we had to, or 56, and then when my dad, so he was allowed to take out